Are you thinking about downsizing into a smaller home? Maybe you live in a home that's great for raising a family, but your kids have grown up and moved, and now you're thinking, do we really need all this space? I am tired of cleaning it. I don't want to take care of the yard. I just want something smaller, a condo, an apartment, a smaller house where I can relax and kind of live the retirement lifestyle that I've been anticipating. Hi, I'm Emily Cressey, and today we're going to talk about downsizing your house. This is Emily Cressey, your digitally enabled Puget Sound community advisor. Today I have 3 things for you to think about as you begin the journey of downsizing your house. Maybe you're moving into an apartment, a condo, a tiny house, an RV, or a retirement facility. Whatever the case, most people when they downsize end up with less stuff. And this is a challenge because your house is probably full of stuff. Here in America, we just tend to accumulate things. That's why the self-storage business is booming, is because we just have a lot of stuff. So one of the things that's a big barrier in some cases for downsizing your house is actually figuring out what to do with all the stuff you have. So one thing to think about is kind of dividing it up into categories. How much of your stuff is furniture that's just there to fill the space? How much of it is things you love, your books, your hobby activities, things that you enjoy working with and that have been a part of your life? And maybe you want to keep them a part of your life, maybe you don't, but that's a separate category. The next category to look at is mementos of the past. So you might have crafts or art projects that you and your children have made through the years. You might have antiques or special things that are generational items that you'd like to pass on. Sometimes it's china, tablecloths, napkins, handkerchiefs, wedding dresses, things like that. And then there are kind of your utility items. So this might be the things that you have in the kitchen or your yard tools or your lawnmower, things like that. So let's look at all of the categories and think about what we want to get rid of. If it's just furniture and stuff that's there to take up space, but there's no sentimental attachment to it, you can pretty easily start to empty that out by selling it. OfferUp is a great place to go. That's kind of a new app where you can sell things to people in your area based on geographical searches. Craigslist is another good option, as well as eBay, which is especially good for smaller items or collector's items that might be relatively easy to ship. Worst comes to worst, you can always donate it to the Habitat store or Goodwill, or give it away on free cycle to a neighbor who's maybe just starting up their home. When it comes to getting rid of the things that you enjoy and you work with, I think the question is really, am I going to be spending time with these items in the future? For me, it's books. I hoard books. I love books. And I have a huge wall of all of my books where I keep them and I look at them and I read them. And there's just something about having a paper copy and the smell and turning the pages and reading it at night. Like, it's just, I like to have books. So my husband is the same way. So one of the things that we would have to decide if we were downsizing out of our house into a smaller house is, what books are we going to take? For you, it might be something else. Maybe it's all your things in your sewing or your knitting room. Maybe it's all your fishing and camping gear. And you can ask yourself, is this something that I want to take into my future life? And if it is, and it won't fit into your future home, your condo, for example, then you could be one of the folks that has a storage facility. Some people have a storage facility where they keep their RV or their boat or their camper. And then some people have one where it's like a garage, and all the things that are in your attic, all the things that are in the garage, and all the things that are in the basement that you decide that you want to keep, you can just rent a space. And it's frequently much less expensive to rent a space that's a garage type space and keep the things that are important to you for the time that you anticipate using it than it is to have a whole house for them. Likewise, a spare bedroom. You know, we've talked about the economics of, do we want to have a house that's large enough so that we have a spare bedroom for guests? and the amount of cost that adds to your mortgage and that you have to pay for every month, whether or not you have guests, would be much higher, and so therefore it would be much less expensive if you just paid for the hotel room for the guests when they came and did not have to pay to keep this vacant bedroom available in your home all the time. So then let's take a look at the sentimental items, the kids' pictures, the antiques, the things from grandma. You've been storing it. You've been the holder of the torch, carrying that legacy, and now it's time to see if the next generation is willing to kind of receive it and take the handoff. So I know for us, we have some beautiful handmade rocking chairs in the family, and you know, great grandpa made this and great grandma embroidered it, and it's beautiful, but it's super uncomfortable. I sat in that chair and I tried sitting in it and there were no arms and it hurt my back and it just wasn't great. So sometimes even the best pieces, and we have the best intentions, it just doesn't make sense to continue the legacy forward. Especially nowadays, people move more often. We have less storage space, especially here in Seattle. Space is really at a premium. We're not out on the farm with the barn where we can store all of the important things. We just have a little bit of space. So I think it's a good opportunity before you downsize your house to have a conversation with your kids or whomever you think might be receiving the things, to say, I've been saving this for you. Is it something that you'd like? Do you have room for it now? Do you anticipate having room for it in the future? And you may find that some of the things that you thought weren't important, you maybe would have thrown away, the kids are very attached to. And then some of the things that you were attached to don't matter so much to them. So it's a good idea to kind of have the conversations, maybe room by room, or as you get a number of things together, you could, you know, send them a picture or do a video conference and just have that conversation, because you might be thinking it's important to keep these things and the kids might be saying, no, I don't need the antique teacups. I don't use those fancy tablecloths. They're not the right size for my table. And then you can give them away or make another decision about what to do with them. And it kind of feels like a load off you. You don't have to carry all these things from all the generations forward and forward if they're not being perceived with value. And then the last thing is your useful things, your day-to-day stuff. So this is your everyday silverware, your plates, your knives. Like if you had a small area in which you were living, a condo, a new apartment, your RV, whatever you're planning to do, what is it that you're going to take with you? You might have all sorts of cooking stuff, you know, the big pot for the turkey on Thanksgiving, or multiple crock pots, or a collection of canning jars. You might have a lot of things that you have used and that had a useful season, but that you don't anticipate making regular use of going into the future. Do you need 4 pie pans, or can you get away with 1 or 2? Do you need the everyday silver and the fancy silver, or can you just have 1 set? So taking a look at, you know, if I had half the kitchen space, what would I want to take with me? Do I need 5 cup measure sets, or can I just have 1? And kind of beginning to pare down those everyday necessities so that you have enough for yourself and you have enough for your perceived need, but you don't have so much that you're overwhelmed. And once you start having a plan on how to get rid of some of these things that have started to fill your home, you will perceive a sense of lightness and you will feel like you have so many more possibilities. I spent a month in the woods between high school and college. I did an outdoor trip, and all I had was my backpack and whatever I could carry in it, and it was very freeing. We surround ourselves with all these things, but at the end of the day, we need very little. So take a look at the lifestyle that you anticipate having. Take a look at what's worth it to you to take care of and to labor over and to store and to clean, and what do you want to bring into your future life. Once you get rid of the things that are not important and that don't spark joy, you will have a freedom that gives you a lot of vision into the future. So I hope this has been helpful, and if you're thinking about downsizing your house and you're ready to just have it be done, you can go ahead and call my office. If you need help working with a professional, estate liquidator or something like that, we're happy to provide some referrals there too. So let me know how I can help. I know there's a lot of emotions that are involved. It's a difficult time. Often it takes years and years. One thing that my grandma did was that she went around and put a little masking tape with people's names on things. So even though they were still stored in her house, she knew someday if she died, that we would, take things down and we would see on the back who she had intended those items for. And we have a lot of really nice pieces from her that she had kept with us in mind. But it's just a process, and everybody goes at their own speed. So go at the speed that's right for you, and whether you're ready to be done, you have a medical situation, you're ready to travel, you're getting out of Dodge, then you can get it done quickly. Or if it takes years, that's okay too. But when you're ready and you've emptied out the house and you're ready to think about selling, we would be more than happy to help you. I really enjoy working with people who are downsizing their house. And if that's you, give us a call.